Nintendo, you have lost your damn mind. You have jumped off the deep end with this, and you knew this video was coming. The second you saw this announced on social media or on a website or something, you should have thought to yourself, old man RGT is going to make a video about this. And look, I'm not here to wallet watch. I'm not here to pocket watch you. If you are fine with this, then go be fine with it. Link up with other people in the world who are also fine with this. But I'm speaking for the people who value their dollar. I'm speaking for the people that are of a mindset that there should be some consistency. I am speaking for people with a little bit of common sense. Because Donkey Kong Country Returns HD got its price point announced. You know, the game that's not coming out until January of 2025 that was in the Nintendo Direct that many people, myself included, said, why are you bringing a Wii game over to the Switch instead of doing a new Donkey Kong? Because you haven't done a new Donkey Kong game, whether it's 2D or whatever, in a very long time. Tropical Freeze was the last game. Over a decade ago, that game came out. Of course, it was redone for the Nintendo Switch. Funky Kong was added into it, but this is just egregious. This is ridiculous because Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is a $60 game. $60. You can use the vouchers, RGT. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not using a digital voucher. I want to buy the game physically if I want to buy it. And it's not necessarily about the price itself. Although we will go over some things in this video that show you that this price is an egregious ask for this game. It's more so about consistency because there is none with this company, Nintendo, when it comes to pricing things. I had to give Switch Force, of all people, credit for calling this out when Mario vs. Donkey Kong was going to be a game that was coming out that was priced differently than something like Metroid Prime Remastered was, and people were confused. Like, why is some things $50, but some are $40, but some are $60? Because there's no consistency. People like consistency. It gives them sort of a baseline of what to expect with this game. Let's take a look at Donkey Kong Country Returns, the original game. Okay, the original game released on the Wii, sold over 6.5 million copies on the Wii, one of the most successful Wii games, and I'm pretty damn sure that was priced at $50 when it came out. A 2D platformer consisting of Donkey Kong. Much like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was $50 on the Wii U, this game was $50 on the Wii. And it sold very well. It was still an exciting thing. Ooh, Donkey Kong's back. We haven't seen Donkey Kong in a long time. There hasn't been a traditional Donkey Kong game since the N64, and that was a 3D game, so technically there hasn't been a traditional Donkey Kong game in a very long time. So people like this game. People bought this game. People supported this game. And then the game was, for some reason, brought over to the Nintendo 3DS. I don't know the sales figures of that. I can't imagine it was very good, but the 3DS version not only added in additional content, but it was $40. So it's $10 less than the Wii version with, you know, some enhancements done, some additional content done. And now we have the HD version for $60. Yes, it includes the 3DS stuff. The 3DS version was $40. You could do single Joy-Con multiplayer. Oh, whoop-dee-doo. Nintendo themselves aren't even working on this, by the way. It's forever entertainment. So where, in the name of all that is holy, where do we get this $60 figure from? Where are we pulling this from? Because, like I've said previously, we've seen various inconsistencies with games getting HD versions or being brought over from other platforms such as the Game Boy Advance and getting a new coat of paint and then being put on the Nintendo Switch. $60 seems like a pretty large ask for this game, especially considering it's the Wii game that people played, over 6.5 million people. And I understand the Nintendo Switch has a different audience, and I understand that to some degree this game will probably sell rather decently. I'm not here to diminish that. Do I think it's going to outsell 6.5 million that it sold on the Wii? Hell no, I don't. Because it's coming out at the tail end of the system's life cycle. And really, Donkey Kong games, like, they do well But this is a game that people are probably familiar with. I think the bigger problem with this is just the absolute dick riding. The absolute, just riding it, like riding my pony. Like Genuine came out at like a bar with a bunch of 40-year-old fat white chicks. And they started playing Pony. And then all of a sudden the dance floor is just filled with these voluptuous 40-year-old white women who want to bring home some random guy. You just ride the pony. Oh, it's $60. It's not that big of a deal. I will be a son of a bitch if PlayStation came out with a $60 remaster of a PS3 game. I will be a son of a bitch if Xbox came out with a $60 remaster of an Xbox 360 game, because those same Nintendo fans would be like, oh, well, that's a lot of money for that. I could just play the original version of the game. Blah, blah, blah. You can emulate this game easily on pretty much anything. The Wii was essentially a GameCube. Those mini PCs I'm showing you, you could probably get 1080, 60 frames out of it. Easy peasy with up-res textures and stuff like that. Of course, there was some commotion about the visual style of this remake versus the original version of the game. People were like, well, this changed, this doesn't look as good. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt with that. Okay, I'm not gonna yell about that, because that's obviously a situation where it's like, I mean, they're not coming out with the game for, what, 7-8 months? Graphics usually are one of the things that kind of get cleaned up towards the end. So I'm sure graphics will, improve in certain areas, shadows, lighting, and stuff like that. There was complaints about color usage as well. It's like, okay, it's not coming out to January. But this is ridiculous. It's taking advantage of your consumers. There is no reason on Earth or in space that this game should be $60. There's no reason. No version of this game prior, the two versions that came out, were $60. No versions. And I've seen people say, well, Nintendo prices it on how they think it'll be successful and stuff like that, and what people are willing to pay. Based on what? Based on what? I don't see a world where people are rushing out to buy this game at $60 when it's an old Wii game that you've seen, that you've played, that you experienced. If it was a new 2D Donkey Kong game, sure, go right ahead. Charge the $60. You put time and effort into it. People could sit there and argue about Metroid Dread being $60 because it's a 2D Metroidvania game in a marketplace that is very crowded with 2D Metroidvania games nowadays, but it still was a brand new game. It still offered something different and offered something unique. You're going to tell me 2D platformers aren't a crowded marketplace? They come out every week. Independent ones. And yes, they're not of the quality of Donkey Kong Country Returns, but Jesus Christ, people, have some dignity. Have some self-respect. Realize that you are the consumer. You should be controlling what these games cost. And to see a game that's released twice previously at lower price points, but because there's a new visual coat of paint, all of a sudden it's worth $60. All of a sudden Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is worth $60. Why? Why? These are cheap cash grabs. I'll probably buy them when they're $30 or $40 because that's the price they should be at on day one. But the problem is there's idiots out there who will just support this willy-nilly and then wonder why the video game industry is in the shape that it's in. And if you're one of those people and you watch to the end of this video, you're a real one. I might not love you because you're kind of messing up the video game market, but you're a real one at least, because you heard me out, you heard my problems, and I think these are problems that need to be talked about. I think these are problems that need to be addressed, especially in this economy. People bitch all the time. I can't even afford groceries, but you can go spend $60 on a Wii game with just prettier graphics. Download Dolphin, download the ISO, and play the game. Upscale it. It'll be just as good. Ooh, you don't get the 3DS stuff. Guess what, jackass? You can download the 3DS version as well. I'm done here. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think about all of this. Obviously, I'm playing it up a little bit. That's something I want to talk about in a video coming up. But I really, truly believe that $60 for this is absolutely ridiculous. This should be $40. $40, you did HD visuals, same price as the 3DS version. You're releasing it on the tail end of the system's life cycle where you're wanting people to be hyped for your next system. Like, this game needs something to make people gravitate towards it, and I just feel like right now there's not a lot there. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about it. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit that bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.